Only on KCCI, Governor Kim Reynolds says she wants to find a compromise on property rights legislation next year.
Our KCCI chief political reporter Amanda Rooker talked with her about why she vetoed a controversial eminent domain bill and what action she plans to take moving forward.
I spent the entire 30 days meeting with stakeholders from every side of the issue, really trying to dig in and understand if it meant what we were trying, if it accomplished what we were trying to do. And it wasn't just about eminent domain, it went way beyond that, and it did have unintended consequences. It's going to continue to be a conversation, it's going to continue to be a topic in the legislature, and hopefully we can figure out a compromise and address some of the concerns that I saw when I reviewed the bill.
Is it something that you want to offer legislation on next session?
We'll look at it. You know, can be a part of that conversation. I'd be happy to be a part of that conversation. There doesn't seem to be a lot of willingness right now. We'll see what happens with a lot of the statements and comments that have been made. I think, you know, adults can agree to disagree and have a difference of opinion, but from some of the comments that have been made, I think they've gone, you know, a little bit far.
There have been some House Republican lawmakers that have been frustrated and have said that maybe next session this may change how they react to your priorities. Have you talked to them about that?
Yeah, you know, it's okay to be frustrated. I make, you know, tough decisions every day that people don't agree with. But I think it's, well, first of all, it was sexist. Bobby Kaufman's remarks that I was an errand girl was sexist, unprofessional, and really childish. And I think it's reflective of the theater that he operates in. I think there's a way to make your point without really undercutting just really the respect of the office. I don't care who's in office as a governor. I think that was uncalled for, and I think, you know, it's not helpful. It was out of line, and I think, you know, if you want to sit down and you want to have a conversation and you want to move forward and get to some consensus, I don't think you start with a rant, a childish rant on social media calling the governor of the state of Iowa a errand girl.
Now, KCCI asked Representative Bobby Kaufman about Reynolds' response.
And in a statement, he said his comments were not out of line and that he stands by them 100%. He added, quote, "The governor choosing to play the victim card shows me she knows how poor her veto decision was and wants to deflect from that. She's on the wrong side of the issue by a wide margin, and I think that's reflective of the political fantasy land that she operates in," unquote.
You can hear more from our exclusive interview with the governor this weekend on Close Up. That's Sunday morning at 10:30 right here on KCCI.